some other time. I'm taking a class, basically creativity in organizations, innovation in organizations. Basically, creativity and design thinking, in organizations. And I came to the idea that about Silicon Valley. Okay, like normally you have organization, they do something. Suppose Sony or Panasonic, they have organization, and then they have different innovations, right? That would be innovation in organization. My school is teaching about, different ways and what is healthy, unhealthy kind of way of, talking or thinking or discussion or debate or whatever. Now, many Silicon Valleys, from what I see, when they started to implement my system and packages, they did not have organizations. So it's not their natural process. They had something, it was within the organization from scratch, and then from that scratch they keep going further and further. You see? So what was in Silicon Valley, if they talk about internet, it was different. Many of those people, they never had any organizations. They didn't have even business. Not even small business, nothing. So, like, they made like IPO, initial public offering, based on a new company, which is, which had no organization. So, but at the same time, my part of innovation, they didn't come to my part of innovation. And they have no good papers for that. So what happened, basically, a lot of those, because before 92 nobody was trading. I know that dot-com boom is because of my system, it's not because of internet. So what happened, those like dot-com boom, many of them didn't have any organizations. And somebody was going and telling them, and they were basically implementing, look like it's internet, but it's not internet. I never worked in internet. I never did, no. So, and at the same time, it's not internet, like I said, it's only the wire configuration. But I had a lot of the software design thinking packages. So they were trying to trade my software design packages and implementing and using my new network configuration, and it was made up as old internet. So those organizations did not exist. Now the thing is, if like in normal condition, if there is IPO, initial public offering, like in case of biotech, they do look at intellectual property. Yeah, you have IPO, but where did you get intellectual property? It's strange thing is that dot-com boom, all that dot-com boom, a lot of it, nobody is asking questions about intellectual property. Because like I said, there are MIT books and network configuration different, and their packages, the software decision, the design thinking, is new. It's not old. It's not 60 or it's 92. It's not 50, 60, 70. It's not even 80s. So if Tim Berners-Lee came to that in 89, so you assume if they trade based on Lincoln, it could be only after 89. But from 89 to my 92 system, I don't know what he had. Honestly, I do see what I see now. It's my way, but Lincoln, his Lincoln, yes. That hypertext, whatever, that which is linking to other page, yes, it's not mine. But they don't trade. If you ask him, he didn't come to many things, so they don't trade his stuff in terms of software decision or design thinking and network configuration. They trade mine. Now, if it says organization, now how do you form organization? You need to form by, first of all, you need to form by your something your substantially different. That's what it looks to me. And then you think about it from scratch, and then you use. And this is Steve Jobs. Some, like, if he didn't know something, he was getting some ideas from consultant. So like certain decisions for Apple, they got from consulting business, I guess. Now, if somebody is talking at consulting business and they're telling them to implement mine, those consulting businesses are crooks. What do you mean? They cannot tell to implement mine because legally they cannot say that because it's not yours. It's like biotech company. They have intellectual property and consultant is saying, "Oh, just use his intellectual property." No, you cannot do that. You cannot use his intellectual property for free and have IPO. So what appears to me, it was a big brainwashing in Silicon Valley. I don't know what they were telling them. Some kind of big brainwashing, looked like whatever, all that is okay, but in reality it's not okay. You know, because it cannot be okay. Because you're not doing internet, and that software decisions, the only they can find is fake papers from my ex-wife. Look, like I'm okay, I like all this or that. So a lot of those dot-com boom actually had basically fraud and forgery. Like I said, the whole explosion is based on fraud and forgery. And then the strange part, if there are teachers and they're asking about innovation, they flip around, look like Google is started from scratch. They didn't start from scratch. They're teaching like, look like Google's innovation, this and that. No. It's not Google's innovation. They had innovations when they were, prototyped, but the design thinking is my way. It's not Google's way. Google's way could be only if they start from scratch and substantially different. They would need to come to completely different configuration, browser, everything. Basically, they would need to have their own network, substantially different, in order to say it's their innovation. Because before that, it was already AOL with Alta Vista. So, and then who else? AOL, Yahoo, probably Alta Vista, then Yahoo. So basically, those are the same, like Yahoo and all those. What organizations they had? They had most likely no organizations. So it wasn't a normal process that creativity and innovation in organization where there is a group. Normally they say group. Group is sitting, thinking, or sometimes taking break and this and that. But this is supposed to generate ideas from scratch. There is one way, like central idea. Like in my case, this called mind mapping, right? Or I think mind mapping. But anyway, there is a way, like a central idea. Like my central idea is I want to come to my own system and network. That's my central idea. See, and then I develop different parts step by step, and then I have my system, right? So for them, they would need to have the main idea to come to own system. And if like say first started like AOL and Alta Vista, I believe, or AOL and I think it was Cisco. I'm not sure who was doing cables for them. So both of them, they didn't start from scratch and have idea we need to come to a new system and work around that central idea. They never did. Someone came to them and told them about already that design thinking and ideas, and then they started to implement. But like I said, probably someone thought it's all good, but it's not good. Like I said, if some papers are saying all is fine, no, that's fake paper. So that come boom basically was based on fake papers. Before, if it was before like certain network configuration, nobody was trading. Then suddenly internet and everybody's trading. To me, then it was transformed. Something was changed to transform. Interesting to what extent the FCC knew. They probably didn't know anything. Now, if FCC will ask, let's say, many companies about creativity in organizations, they never had organization. They never had any creativity because someone told them about my innovation and they started to implement. They never had inside that kind of from scratch thinking. You see what I mean? So basically that's what I'm saying. If it has like full and fake papers, all that, the whole exploring is full of erosions. If like you ask someone to publish, many of them cannot publish because someone told them cannot publish. They probably want to turn around to use for free, so they make up all kind of tricky ways. But you want to use for free? No, you cannot use for free. It's new, right? And I even said I want to go to rich people. I need to talk. So basically, instead of how they would do, they had to find me and then sign papers and all. Now, another side, beside creativity, there is a thing like innovation and management of change. Okay, management of change. Now, if it would be all the internet, there is no management of change. You see? It would be just the same. But there was management of change. Because if before, whoever was doing internet, if it was on a smaller scale, many things did not exist and now they exist. So it was a change. If people started to live by a new way, like they never lived before, then it was a change. So if it was a change, it was management of change. So all that management of change, I can tell you, it's most likely those don't tell, and implement. Don't tell, implement. Tell it's you. That's how that management of change. It's not professional management of change. So, to me, you wanna bring up to like professional level, should be much different. Like like Sony, for instance, they have certain innovations, right? Now, Toyota, I've seen. I used to work at Toyota. Toyota has some innovations coming from inside, some innovations are coming from outside, but they pay for that. It's not free. They don't copy and use. Japanese, I think it's the biggest car maker, Toyota. They do not take and use for free. And in fact, many times I've seen someone. Many times they do buy innovations. It's not always Toyota is doing innovations. So to me, that's more professional way. Not Toyota, then pay. Otherwise, come on, don't try to fool. Or maybe like Japanese, for instance, they put sound system like Bose speaker sound system. I'm sure if they want, they could copy. Just take a part and check every part and make exactly the same part, measure everything and copy it. Like Chinese, sometimes Chinese copy that. If Japanese wanted, they could copy Bose. I think so. I think I can copy Bose if I really want. Just take measure resistance or capacity, weigh everything, check for materials and all that, and copy. I can copy Bose. Maybe I can make even better than Bose. So, because maybe I know something more. So, but the thing is, Japanese, they don't copy Bose and put in their car, and they put both speakers. Many Japanese car, like I think Acura is putting both speakers, and some other ones they put JBL or whatever company. So sometimes they don't buy, the innovation or whatever don't belong to them in terms of patent or copyrights or intellectual property. So they buy the item. They buy the item and they put in their car. To me, that's more professional way. Now, there is a belief in the United States. There is a belief you can get away with illegal use of intellectual property. There is no such thing as you can get away. Because if you do copyright, at any point, if you do copyright, you need to be a thinker for that particular thing. If you're not a thinker, you should not copyright. But if you cannot copyright, then you cannot copyright. Don't put copyright signs. That's how it is. And believe it or not, that copyright office, if you check, I believe in it. If you check copyright office, all the Silicon Valley companies, which they call internet companies, if they didn't have any innovations or companies before, they never had organizations. They never had own copyrights. Most likely, a lot of them did not have own copyrights. Like before '92, suppose some company had own business and copyrights. Like maybe let's suppose Cisco. Cisco could have own copyrights and certain things. But a lot of those Silicon Valley, because my innovation didn't come from inside, they basically didn't have organization and didn't have any business. They didn't have anything, no copyrights before, no history of any copyrights. And then it was some kind of this hidden talk and all this. And they started to copyright mine. Somebody keep telling them, and they started to copyright mine. But it didn't come from organization, it didn't come from the house too. They talk, because they talk about mine, not there, it's substantially different. So you see, the IPO is kind of weird. That IPO, honestly, to me, all IPOs for those .com booms, I think it's eyewash, some kind of big eyewash, because it's not right. If they put higher agents, forget it. You cannot put higher agents and all that. It is a sunny day today, and when it is a sunny day like this, I like to go outside. And actually, when I go outside like this, I think Wi-Fi is, I came to it short wireless in 92. So I didn't call it Wi-Fi, but came to short wireless for my network. So when there is a sunny day like this, I think it's one of the best solutions. Because in 92, when I was thinking about my network configuration, I came to conclusion that, you know, those like computer stores of that time, 92, you could have personal computer, Apple or IBM compatible with Windows, and you could see it and do word processing or make your resume or anything, whatever you need. At that time, if you run computers, it wasn't any internet or any explorer. So when I go to take a look, nice, take a look. So when I was thinking about my network, I came to a conclusion, and looking at how people behave in computer store or for design thinking, it will be human factor, human experience. So human, what they call, you know, how people evaluate what they get, you know, the experience. So at that time, I thought, okay, I go to computer store, I just put myself in customer shoes or me. I go to the store because I came to a system, a lot of things, but okay, if computer store has those stationary computers, yeah, you can you know, you don't need short wireless. Now at the same time, in 92 I came to my own smaller computer just for exploring. So I came to that concept of, or you know, like a product which is a smaller computer. It doesn't have hard drives or anything, but it's mostly like made for exploring. Because if you have a lot of things on the system, you don't need to store too much. I don't want to pay money, because if my system is external, if my goal is not really to spend too much, I just kind of put on the side of online, store in there, you know. So came to that small computer, and then I came to the short wireless. So my system, it's like, let's say it's like my system, let's say like Google, and Google is making small computers like this Apple, just for exploring. So that was my way, and for that way, or people have hard drives, like laptop with hard drives, normal laptops. My short wireless originally was for that. So when there is a nice day like this, I think Wi-Fi is the best solution. At that time, no 4G, 5G, but I came to the short wireless. You go to cafe or restaurant. There are many restaurants around, cafes. You can be under umbrella or in the shade, or you can be outside. There are different houses next to the beach, and you don't need to take a big computer. You can take the smaller ones with Wi-Fi outside of your house to balcony, you see. So I came to that innovative thinking. So whatever you see, like short wireless, it's not web, innovative thinking, and it's not internet. I never worked for internet. And internet is only configuration, wire configuration. I'm not changing wire configuration. For me, I just for my system. I develop what is good for my system and exploring. I'm not looking at any configuration. I decided to make my own configuration, and when I analyze things, I just make the wire or cables or wireless. So I think it's good. I really like that, why I came to short wireless? Why not other ones? Because I was in Ukraine, and I did learn about wireless. And the wireless, like shortwave wireless, the further you go, the more power you need to transmit. And the more power to transmit is more dangerous. So in old days, when they were, even now, if they transmit signal, those radio signal, short waves, the signal can be so strong it can burn the birds. If bird is too close, it can burn. So now, for me, I said, because I knew that before even thinking about the system, I don't want situation to have in the house or in cafe a transmitting, receiving wireless, which is burning something. I don't like that. I don't like that fact. So for me, it was important to reduce the strength of the transmission and receiving, right? The power to like minimum, only to get the signal, but it's not in a dangerous zone. That's why I came to that way short wireless. I did not like the idea of super long wireless. Now I had a second version of the wireless, which is kind of like clear wire. I was in Hawaii, they had clear wire, I had clear wire. Basically you are putting, I was putting, but it's a unit you put on the window. I put on the window inside. My 92 version was close to the window. You put close to the window, and there are some transmitter receivers close by, like in the city. It's not really short, it's somewhere longer, but because you put close to the house, or you can put on top of house, even better, or outside, some on the balcony. And let's say like they have direct TV, but it's a big dish. But in my case, I had like a smaller version of transmitting and receiving, because for TV they only have receiving, but I need transmitting too. So when I think about receiving is one thing, but about transmitting, then I need to count the power, how much power. So for me, if it's not in a dangerous zone transmitting, then I can put one in the city and one on the balcony, and I don't need Wi-Fi, you see. So I had two kinds. One is like that, one is another one. Now, talking about the wireless, you see, before, I can tell you like this, before 92, if you go anywhere you go, normally you don't see any Wi-Fi, you see, because Wi-Fi, you need to be connected to networks. And to what network? To explore. But it wasn't any network to explore, because exploring means you need a system to explore, because all the packages are on the system. You're exploring software, those packages. You're not exploring other users. In my case, you don't explore other users, you're exploring different packages on the system, or what they call sites today, or platforms. So for me to explore those sites or platforms, I need short wireless, and that did not exist before 92. If they had wireless or short wireless, it would go to other user. But in many cases, that network wasn't available for people. Like I said, I went to computer store and I was in New York. I did not see anyone have networks. If it was like internal certain network between one person, another person, or like AutoZone or something like that. But I'm not talking about like an AutoZone or Barnes & Noble. I'm talking about people's network. So people's network that they can explore, you know, and social network and e-commerce, whatever. Now on top of it, I have short wireless. One short, one a little longer. And like, you know, like when I see like day like this right now, I think it's good. I think I like short wireless. I think today, when you see like those, you know, houses, like in the house, I have in the house short wireless. So you go to Starbucks, short wireless. Believe it or not, if you take someone to like D school, and because nobody had that before, please talk about your innovation, you know, from scratch. That kind of new way of network people explore. They don't have a person started from scratch, because I had that as one network. One network with short wireless. One kind short wireless in the house, second short wireless, like cafe, you know, like small business, you know. So even if today like Spectrum or AT&T or all those, they're offering short wireless, that's not internet. That's actually illegal use of my intellectual property. They cannot use it. They are never released, and all that is actually based on, I believe, based on fake papers. Believe it or not, the whole network, short wireless in the house, outside, based on basically spying, acquired by spying. Because, and if there are papers, I like him to implement that fake papers. So, yeah, on one hand, big companies have that short wireless, and but on the other hand, they cannot explain. They never had it. So if people started to live by a new way, That's innovation. Okay, where's the talent? There is no talent. Somebody was going talking for me. You know? Somebody was going talking for me, and then they turn around, they're collecting money. No, they cannot collect money like this. They used my without permission. Believe me, they use my without permission. You can call any company, any of those companies. How did you come to short wireless? The thing is, you would need to come to a network, because that short wireless connected to a network. Okay, if they say someone else came to the network, okay, who came to the network? I'm telling you, it wasn't thing like natural transformation of the internet. It wasn't any transformation at all. I was thinking long time. I came to own my own configuration. Then I decided to have short wireless for my own network. You see, that's how that appeared. And believe it, at Disco, Stanford Disco, other places, no one can talk for that innovation, because before nobody had Wi-Fi. Suddenly that appeared at home or a cafe. Nobody can talk, believe me. They use, because probably most likely German communists told him, again my ex-wife, fake papers. At the end they put copyright signs, and they used look like all good. It's a big eyewash, I'm telling you. It's eyewash, and that's not legal. You can ask AT&T or whoever is doing internet and wireless. Okay, before 92, did you have internet and wireless like this? So they say no. Okay, why do you have? Do you have a talent for that? Who came to the network and explore, and they will say no, because they never had it, and they didn't come, so they say no. Why do you use all that? Who told you? You will see, most likely Eastern German or Eastern German communists, because my ex-wife was going and talking about my system, which is with a short wireless, one kind from the home, and second kind outside cafes. Yeah, on one hand I do like wireless, like you go, you can be outside. But on the other hand, I don't like the fact that they used and didn't pay. And what they tell to people look like all legal, all good. It's not like that. It's not all legal, all good. It's actually illegal use. You can easily check. You just bring people to Innovation Center. You believe it or not, no one can talk for that. If it was transformation, explain who can be responsible for transformation, but it wasn't any person. So that's what I'm saying. Anyway, it's a nice day today. I need to check things outside. Just enjoy a nice day. So you see a balcony. So I think it's good. Short wireless. For me it was for inside of house too. Inside, outside. I like this one, look. Like this one, look. Table outside. Table outside. So like that. That's not internet. Believe me. With internet you need to have cables. Few cables. In my case I don't need few cables. I only need one output, and it's going, short wireless is going to the line, and it's going to my system, and people are getting platform or packet, site, whatever, online stuff they have, social network, anything, and it's going back to them. So that was my innovative thinking, which is today people have. And like I said, it didn't come from inside of organizations. It came from me. It didn't come from internet or web. Even if they say web, exploring web didn't come to this network, including short wireless. You don't explore web, you explore system. With browser, you explore using short wireless, and you are using a new network configuration. So I can talk at this school if somebody need me to talk, but honestly, what happened is not really business. Some kind of gray market kind of business. Okay, nice day today. I just enjoy my day. Let me show you. I like this balcony, look. Big balcony. So, to me, honestly, when it's a nice day, I like to be outside like this. You see umbrella? I like to have umbrella like this. Laptop. If I want to explore, I explore. That's my 92 way, which is actually still pretty much unchanged. There is nothing changed. It's just keep working the same way. The thing is, sometimes one thing is replacing another thing. So far, I don't see anybody is replacing it, because realistically, I was thinking about what will work and the user experience, and I say like I had certain user experience and certain thinking, and I thought it's good, and actually it's accepted based on design thinking. Innovation either accepted or not accepted. I think my innovation is accepted pretty good. Almost every house has exploring and short wireless and all that. But like I said, legally they had to be much different, because if it's not you, not you. So I need my pay for anything. You cannot just take and give to the whole planet exploring and no talent. That's not for law system. No talent. What do you mean no talent? Someone transform. That is eyewash. Someone transform. It means someone. But who is that someone? You see? I can tell you, for my part, nobody transformed, and I didn't transform. I just came to. Now, when I look at boats, you see, look at boats. So when I look at boats, actually that Wi-Fi, because I had short wireless, I think Wi-Fi is not good for that actually. I think that one, like clear wire, is better. Because clear wire was, you put unit outside, like say on the roof of that boat, and the second transmitter receiver somewhere in the town, so you can get online exploring from that boat. Basically, that my other version of wireless is for the longer distance, but it's not satellite. Satellite is to cover a big gap. But like that one, for like small boats, I think that my second version is good. Now, if I talk about big boats going far away, yeah, probably for that you need satellite. Well, they can put on the roof, and they can use satellite. So instead of transmitting, receiving close to the system, they have that individual transmitting, receiving, if it's necessary. I did not like in general too much of satellite to use, because too much of this wireless. I don't like. And security-wise, wireless should be more secure than normal because more exposure. So that's it, I guess. Like this one, the soft roof. So the transmitter receiver can be actually some other place. I was saying about DirecTV. I think they have small transmitter. I was thinking about like a normal TV, they don't have transmitter, but because when you choose channels, it gives a signal. So probably they do have transmitter. But anyway, for the boat like with the softer roof, I think it's okay. I'm not trying to make everything computerized, but I mean if I think more about my network, certain places, things, I think it's good for the boat. So basically my network would be like my system network providers, then it would be like short wireless like Wi-Fi, satellite, and one like this, like clear wire, like I was talking about. So like you see, I have, like I said before, I have hybrid, which is, it's not wireless. I have kind of hybrid network that I came to based on needs and user experience. I can put wireless or cable. Now, when people on the beach, of course they can use cell phone today, 5G and all that. But another version is to have short wireless, like you see far away. See the beach far away? So that for far away beach you see the building. So if people are close to the building, it's okay Wi-Fi, but again Wi-Fi, I would say that would be more for like private beach or paid beach, because you need to pay for Wi-Fi, because if you want to have a lot of people using Wi-Fi, you need many lines. It's like putting cables for many houses, many lines for many houses. So it's not really cheap kind of solution. But I know they try to use routers or whatever, but still, if there are many users go to line, it means many users go to line. You need many lines, so you don't overload the line. But in general, I mean, it's okay. If it's a nice day, you can see Bill Gates dream to put computer on every table. In my case, I don't need to worry about every table. In my case, I have laptop on every table. Laptop on every table, on every table of Starbucks, But I did not have a goal to put any computers on the table, but it turns out to be. But I didn't get any money. I don't like the effect, really. I don't like the effect. All these years I was trying to contact and try to get some money, but they have very strong, some kind of people on the back who just ignore it and don't pay. But like I said, that's for people exploring after work. It's not government thing. I don't know, maybe in China it's a government thing, but in country like America, If it's for people after work, it's after work. It's not a federal project. I did say about federal government, sites or storage for the public, but it's not the only system they can use. They can use own internal systems like before. They can have, in fact, IBM and Oracle, any other internal network systems. And besides that, if they want to deal with the public, they would need to go with my system. I mean, my system. I talk about configuration or whatever, my decisions, design thinking. So that's what I came to. But like I said, from innovation point of view, accept it, not accept it. I think they accept it pretty good. Because people didn't have it, and now suddenly they have it, and it's accepted. I see it's accepted. I don't expect people like it's the only thing and give up internal networks. I never had that plan actually. That's why most of my design thinking software was for home use. I just take niche market, whatever is not taken, I just go with it. So for me, it's just much easier, I guess. I don't have any competition, I guess. That's what some schools are teaching. You just, for marketing or whatever you do, you just take a niche market. That's what actually, my system of 92, that was actually niche market. It's not AOL 91, it's not internal networks, it's not any kind of networks. And if you look at Lincoln from 89 to 92, it was much done for Lincoln. I've made all my system and Explorer with Lincoln. So any design thinking, any package, it was for Lincoln. And like I said, certain network configuration, that's what you see today. Most of what they explore outside of work has Lincoln wireless. They don't store on user end. They use apps or software on a system, an external system. Now, I do like sometimes no computer, believe it or not. Like those people on the board, look. Even if I like say Oracle or IBM or Fujitsu, Hitachi, they have internal networks and systems for work. If I have a system for outside of work, it does not mean I spend all my time with it. I do like to be on the board like these people. Forget about any computer or cell phones. They explore. I never took this. Maybe I should take it. Newport Legacy. I don't know where they go. They do have a boat to Catalina Islands, but this Newport Legacy, I'm not sure. I need to check. Again, where do I check now? I check online. External system, because it's for public. That's what I have, right? In all days, you would need to call or try to get some information somehow. And actually, because of my system, now many people don't even look into white pages or yellow pages. Many people don't even have white or yellow pages anymore. They check everything online. Like today, many people don't even have stationary phones. For business, yeah, but for normal use, many people have cell phones. Even me now, I only have cell phone. I don't have stationary phone. But the rest I can check online. That's what I call system for people. For anyone can explore, anyone can add or log in. That's I would say people's system. Now, if there are certain issues arising because of people's conflict. My school is telling about people's conflict. Yeah, it could be different because there are different people, nationalities, diversities, different opinions. Sometimes can be normal talk, sometimes can be basically fight. It should be somehow managed because my system, I did not like to make for fights. To me, it should be for normal talk, not for fights. So for design thinking, they say like unhealthy kind of unhealthy talk or condition or debate or healthy condition. So I don't like unhealthy conditions, on my system. Some big arguments or big fights, stuff like that. What else can I say? Well, anyway, even if there are talks like this, I do like to enjoy here, like close to the ocean, or sometimes to be on a boat. I was on some boats. I like Hawaii sometimes. Hawaii has certain. There's California, Southern California, but Hawaii is more south. That experience is somewhere different. So Bill Gates' dream was to put a computer on every table, but in my case like that. You see tables outside, or those tables outside. You see tables outside. So in my case, it turned out to be a smaller computer on every table outside. But I didn't have a dream, it just turned out to be that way. I did have short wireless thinking and wished to have a smaller computer just for exploring. So it turned out to be smaller computer outside on the table and huge computers outside of every business, pretty much, as own business. That's what I call the system. I did say in 92 my system should be different. The language, everything should be different. I did not like the idea of mixing and somebody will affect your computer. I think personally it's not enough difference. From what I see, it's not enough difference. I wanted to have different. That's why I was talking that my language or anything I do should be different. Because actually that is not only legally better, but it is better for security. If my system doesn't work with that, nobody can affect. Because now what they have the security. That security most likely, again, my ex-wife and German people were talking to implement security, because when it came to network or social network or whatever, I did assume I will have a lot of people. My first thing is my system should be different, because I don't like to affect personal computers. When I've seen during this time, when I've seen they had a lot of those problems, I think it's not enough difference. And the second thing is I was talking about security, should be secure, because it's online, it's remote and all that, like certain access, unauthorized access. So today they call it cyber security, but actually most likely those people who are talking about it probably again my ex-wife and her people, because it was my system. They talk about my system and security for them. They're not talking about the network configuration, because internet is only on user end everything now. Beside user end, because for me the most important was the system. User is a little bit. For me important security on the system side. User can be too, because it goes to the user, but it should be user, and in my case kind of disconnected. Whatever system is disconnected from the normal computing. Now, whatever is on that side or on system side, that's a different security, because many people can do different bad things on the system side, because I have a lot of packages, so finance or whatever people, a lot of people, so they can do a lot of things there. So for me, like say cloud, when my ex-wife was talking about programmers, for me it's important they don't affect. Yeah, I said can be space given to them, like on that storage, because they can have a site with a big storage or some kind of drives, but I had to talk to specialists. I did not like to mix it. For me, security is important. So even if people are exploring, that those computers are exposed to different people. Because they're exposed to different people, it should be good security. Now, when it goes to online, when you transmit to online, it should be security. So those packets, when they split into packets, it's security. If it goes through different ways and put it back later, it's security. Now, sometimes they have two lines, sometimes one line, sometimes three lines, but it's just the technology of splitting to packets. That split into lines, that's additional. That would be, I think, more like finance or some kind of more security required way of travel. Now, because my system international, I actually had that concept later, like I told you. I think I was writing not long ago. My other concept was to have users paying for extra countries to explore. Let's say suppose it's like a cable TV. I don't know if some people might like it, some don't, but suppose like cable TV. You have a cable TV and you have different channels, but you can subscribe more channels. Maybe I keep that model for something else, but to me, beside it can be internationally made. You can subscribe only a few countries if you really want. I think it's a good option. If I cannot read certain language, if I see mostly it's in that language, for me there is no reason even to have that site, to have that country. Yeah, I can, if I want, I can choose, but otherwise it will never go there. It's kind of, I'm blocking myself from different countries. Basically, my later concept was, yeah, you can explore if you want, be it pay or not pay extra, but you can choose what countries you want to explore. So suppose some people are Spanish speaking. They don't know much English, they don't know much French, they never talk to French or English. So it's like for extra security, be it on browser side or some other place, they can choose what countries to have. So if they choose like Spanish countries, maybe extra whatever they like, and the rest it will not go, because they can go if they need, but otherwise don't go. You see, I think that would partially eliminate the security problems, because if every time it has that problem, So the security problem, because they did not implement exactly. My wish was my own language, my own everything. My wish was kind of like Apple, my own language, everything. So it's different from everybody. But what they did a lot of that open source or whatever that everybody knows. Now, it's good maybe for some people because they know the open source, but it's a problem for security. The more people know, the less security would be. That's normally how it is. If it's security required, it should be less people to know. Kind of authorized, more authorized. So now, because they did this in a certain way, a lot of that open source and all that, well, it's good maybe for like students and all this, because open source is really like the copyrights and all that, it's much easier. It's kind of made for university, open source. It's not like a certain language belonging to the company. Now, for university, whoever knows that language, maybe it's easy, but for security is a problem. See? So my original model was more like Apple. Now, if there is a lot of open source, I think personally it's good way on the browser side or browser, and automatically on the system will update. So basically you can choose to block certain countries from going to. I think it's better. Or like say a provider, it could be on provider side, because in my case everything goes to provider. I didn't like to run cables from every single house to the user, to my network. So from the user to network, to me providers should do. I can do it as a provider, but to me providers should do. And then I have certain cables going to the system. Now that thing to choose country can be, I guess, with the provider. You go to provider and then you choose, and it will automatically block basically many countries. Now when you talk about cybersecurity and all that, crashing computers, I think that would eliminate quite good, because realistically, if you Spanish speaking or French speaking, if you need only French speaking countries, because there is, well, some of them have translation to French, but you can choose those. But not every country. Like there are a lot of countries they have English, for instance, and let's say English in their language, but they don't know Spanish, they don't know French, so they can block that. They don't know Russian, they can block that. They can block any country they want. So that's my kind of later concept of blocking. But if you really want, you can basically you can have that. Or if it's blocked in one price, but if it's like a lot of countries, the price is higher. Which would be normally correct. The more you get, like a cable TV, the more channels you get, the higher price you pay. So for instance, if there is a price $50 for exploring, so in that case, if you block half of countries, it should be less, because the overall cost, I would think, less for the company. In some sense, maybe less. They might stop You know those cyber attacks? If somebody will make cyber attack, you see, that's what I say. You know, they know probably open source, and the cyber attack is probably going through open source. I don't think they know pretty good like Microsoft language or Apple language. They probably go through open source and they try to crash there. Now, if they go through, let's say, the blocking system, if I am blocked from that country, if I'm blocking myself from any country, so in that case nothing can come to me. They cannot crash me. Basically what I think is like, suppose well, it could be maybe programmed so because my redirecting is based on programming. So basically some ends it will just not go. You know, they do programs sometimes. You cannot go to certain things. So that was my thinking. I might think more about security, but you see, I'm not getting any money. They're getting money for mine, believe me. That's my design thinking for the whole system, for the whole exploring. How it looks, and 1, 2, 3 pages, and all the sites design. Those site design is not really their way. That's my way. It's not Barnes and Noble look or AutoZone look, and it's not AOL 91 look. And I came to certain look and ways. They use that and offer that. It's not Silicon Valley way. It's my way. Because I came to certain system and certain look. And now, like I said, because my original idea was to be different, certain language only me, but they in some way change here and there. Now for me I need to resolve. But if not, I'm not getting any money to resolve what. So that's what I can say, I guess.